All right. Well, good evening and welcome, everybody. I'm Dr. Siobhan France, and I'm a physical therapist in Laurel, Maryland. And I'm really excited to share some amazing information with you here tonight, something that has really impacted my life. And I hope to impress upon you the same impact as well. So, I'm actually going to share a little bit of my story and why this has had such a huge impact on me, and really how I came to learn why healthy eating is not enough. So, my mom had a stroke when she was 29 years old. I was 5 years old. And I just remember thinking, how does a young, healthy 29-year-old have a stroke? I so much could not have even had fast food. Let me tell you, it was a treat to have fast food. I remember asking my mom, can we go to McDonald's? Can we go to Burger King? There were just so many things I wanted to do because I saw my friends doing it that I wanted to do those things too. We wouldn't even be able to eat Chef Boyardee. My brother and I would often beg just to have some of the unhealthy stuff. Okay, but both my parents immigrated here from Trinidad. So growing up in a Caribbean household, everything was home cooked. I mean, every single night we just had fresh food. And so it really got me thinking as I was growing up, how does a young, healthy 29-year-old have a stroke? It never made sense to me. So I remember she was playing tennis. We went to her tennis matches, and she was playing softball. We went to the softball games. And so she was doing all the right things, but yet she had a stroke. So I felt like I'd kind of been searching my whole life just for answers, right? There had to be something deeper down happening inside of our bodies so something could just tragically happen like that. So when I saw this information, about 5.5 years ago now, it really changed the game for me. I finally understood why healthy eating was not enough. So I'm actually going to be sharing that with you guys tonight. So have you actually noticed that we're doing all of the right things? Okay, we're eating well, we're exercising, we're doing exactly what we're supposed to do, but yet we still feel so bad. We are tired, we're sluggish. And even if we are getting enough sleep, what kind of quality sleep are we getting? Just our focus and our concentration is just going crazy. We're just really being bombarded with so much. So what's really happening is that we're being hijacked. We're being hijacked by the toxins and all the pollutions. We're being hijacked just by social media, just our emotional and just mental capacity. It's just really being stretched. And so much of that is just adding so much stress into our life. So people are looking for solutions. Aren't you looking for a solution? I know I was, because again, doing all the right things, how does something happen? So my eyes and ears kind of, we're always open to finding out the why behind something like that could happen to my mom. So what we're going to be talking about is activation, not supplementation. So why is it now that activation is the new science and supplementation is really out? Well, think about this for a second. Supplements give you so much guesswork. Do we ever have any good research on it? No. And what about just the dependency on having to take something because our body is missing this? Our body has a missing link, so we need to supplement it with this thing. There's just a lot of guesswork there, and we don't want to create a dependency on that. But what activation is with this new age science is turning on our body's own ability to actually heal. And we're going to be talking about some pathways inside of our body that actually allow our body to turn on its own healing capacity. And we're not going to just be talking about my Aunt Sally and my Uncle Joe, and we're actually be talking about valid science. Okay, valid science. And I'm going to be sharing with this you guys tonight. So I'm going to take you back in time to 2005, how this all got started. And this is really the information that changed the game for me. So in 2005, ABC News did a primetime investigative report, and John Quinones, the news reporter here, he had his blood work drawn, and it was on live television. And let me just say, if you guys have not seen this ABC News report, can you drop ABC News in the comments so we can make sure that we get this out to you? It is so good that you have to see it, and it's going to really bring things together. But I'll piece together some of the pieces here. So oxidative stress is what this news report covered. And what it actually showed was that oxidative stress is linked to all these diseases and malfunctions in the body, over 200. And when I saw this 5.5 years ago, he said that oxidative stress was linked to all these things, and he said stroke. And it was literally in that moment that I said, maybe this is what happened to my mom. Maybe I have oxidative stress. Maybe she did. And it wasn't until I started to dig a little bit deeper into this that I understood we all have oxidative stress. We get it just by basically breathing. So, what is it? It is the process of normal cells being turned into abnormal cells by the foods we eat, breathing in air, and as our food breaks down, it releases toxic chemicals, free radicals. Maybe you guys have heard of that term before. So free radicals damage and bombard our cells, and that causes all of these diseases and malfunctions. So that ABC News report covers that. So if you haven't seen it, make sure you drop ABC News in the comments below, because it's really gonna paint a bigger picture here. So why should you care about it? You should care about it because we all have it. And it was when I understood that there was not enough eating that my mom was doing, or that I could do, or you could do, that really can combat all of this stress. I said, okay, so what can we do about it? And this is where activation really came into play. So what do people do now to lower oxidative stress? Well, they think eating healthy is enough, but they're also juicing. They're taking acai berries and goji berries, and they're taking antioxidant. So antioxidant actually means against oxidative stress. So we know that this thing exists, but what people are doing is just not effective enough. So let me paint a picture here. So just imagine your body as a house fire, for example. If you took a Dixie cup of water to try to put it out, that is like taking an antioxidant, like a blueberry. But what if you could have a sprinkler system fire hose in every room of your burning house to put out that fire? Would you rather do that? Well, I certainly would, and that is activation. So what we now know is that our body, when you turn on a healing pathway in our body called NRF2, our body can literally turn on its own sprinkler system. So Dr. McCord says that we are on fire with free radicals, 300 septillion to be exact. That's a 3 with 26 zeros. And taking your blueberry can only get rid of one of those. But turning on that healing pathway is that sprinkler system that we're all looking for. So this was really exciting news, because I thought to myself, wow, there is something that we can do, and it's so much bigger than just healthy eating. There's actually pathways that we can turn on inside of our body. And so I really love this photo here. Health problems are like plants. You've got to get to the roots in order to prevent them from popping up again. Eating healthy food is not getting to the root of what causes it. It starts deeper than that in our cells. And so we're not talking about antioxidants. We're not talking about supplements. We're literally talking about the ability to activate our body's own pathway. So this is Protandim NRF2. This is one of the healing pathways inside of our body. When you turn this pathway on, our body can literally lower oxidative stress by an average of 40% in 30 days. So we're not here to make any claims. We're not here to say that we heal, treat, cure, or mitigate any disease. But if oxidative stress is linked to all those diseases and malfunctions we don't want, and we lower oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days, I hope you guys are making this connection. And this is really just 5 herbs and plants combined. And so maybe you're already taking turmeric, for example, okay? Maybe you're already biohacking, which just means, taking control of our complex system. Turmeric is not as effective by itself as it is when you take it with the other herbs combined. It literally makes it 18 times more powerful. And so that's really exciting, because now we have activation rather than supplementation. We're looking for something that's more effective. And why I really like this, it's got a gold seal at the bottom. Do you guys see that? It says BSCG. This means that we are approved for professional and Olympic athletes to take our products without any question. And that's really exciting, because it speaks to how clean this product is, as well as the studies that I'm going to get into here in a second. But if you guys are already NRF2 activated, drop in the comments NRF2 activated. Would love to know. I certainly have been for the past 5.5 years, and so are my parents. So these are just some of the institutions that have actually done their own their own studies, not us, their own studies on this product. I'll just highlight a few here. So NIA is the National Institute of Aging, actually proved that we're the only natural product to extend life by an average of 7% in all male mice. Really exciting news. Who wants 7% more life? I certainly do. American Heart Association did a study on scar tissue and heart disease. LSU, Louisiana State, they did a study on skin cancer, and they said, if Protandim is doing that for inside the body, what could it do for our largest organ, our skin? And that took the company into a whole nother market. So we really have some amazing institutions here that are popping up and doing their own research, all to validate what we have going on. Very exciting. So if you went to pubmed.gov, which is the NIH, National Institute of Health Library of Medicine, if you went there and you typed in Protandim, you're actually going to see 26 peer-reviewed studies on the product, not the individual ingredients, but on the product. So something I asked myself when I caught wind of this information was, gosh, is there something in my cabinet right now that I can pull off and type into this research database and have studies on it? I had zero. I had nothing that actually came up. So what this proved to me was we have valid science. All the guesswork was already taken out. So if you were to type in oxidative stress, what you're going to see now is over 200,000 studies linking oxidative stress to everything we don't want. So how is that for proof in the pudding, right? All right, so this is one of the studies that was done, and I really like to highlight this one because as a PT, I have treated patients who have MS, and I will tell you it can be very debilitating. And one of the drugs on the market, Tecfidera, and when they did their efficacy studies, they had to look at another NRF2 activator. And I'm just going to read exactly what it says from their study, because again, we make no claims. It says, interestingly, Protandim, a dietary supplement consisting of herbal ingredients, was the most potent inducer and therefore may be the most suited as a therapeutic strategy. We activate the NRF2 pathway. We make no claims, but can you see what their study said? Okay. This is another one. Washington State University said NRF2 may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. How exciting is that? This is when it started to really click for me that there was no way that enough food can turn on our body's pathway like that. It just didn't have the ability to do that. And so if you have not seen this study and you guys want to see it, drop "wash you" in the comments below, because this is one of the ones that caught my attention. Just reading that statement alone really made it valid to me what this kind of information could really do. So without getting all sciencey, because believe it or not, I'm not a super sciencey person. I like the science and it certainly validates, but I take a very umbrella overview at some of this. But there's enough valid information here for me to say, wow, this is definitely something. So here, there's two columns here. So on the left-hand side, those are some of the genes that we have in our bodies. And then on the other side, you have an arrow pointing up or an arrow pointing down. So when that gene has certain activity to it, it can lead to certain issues, certain disease processes. But if you activate the NRF2 pathway, it now has the ability to turn down those genes. So again, we make no claims, but can you imagine if this gene is linked to something and we have the ability to turn the activity of that gene down? Just imagine what your body can really do. Okay, so let's talk about another pathway inside of our body, the NRF1 pathway. And so who has heard of mitochondria? If you guys have heard of that, oh my gosh, it's like high school biology, right? But it is literally the powerhouse of the cell. It is the engine. It's the thing that turns our cells on and allows them to do their job. So if our cells can't do their job, do you think that would lead to issues? Absolutely. So some of the diseases that you can see here, diabetes, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, cancer, autism, all of that is linked to the fact that the mitochondria is not powered up. It is not doing its job. So it would be beneficial to turn on that pathway. Allow the mitochondria to produce so it can turn on the cell's ability to do their job. This is really exciting again because it has that BSCG stamp of approval, meaning approved for professional and Olympic athletes to take our products. So super clean products. And I'm really excited about this one. I'm actually on day 12 right now currently of NAD. And it really wasn't until I understood some of the science that this really made sense. So I'm going to give you guys a umbrella overview. Sirtuins, okay, without getting all sciencey. Sirtuins is a family of proteins. Those proteins are responsible for turning on the communication of all the cells inside of our body. It's like the CEO, okay? It turns all of the communications on. But as we get older, our sirtuin activity declines by about 60%. So if our cells can't communicate together, do you think that leads to a problem? Of course, right? So how do we turn our sirtuin activity back up? Well, one of those ways is through caloric restriction, like literally not eating as much, anywhere from like 500 to 750 calories per day. I certainly can do that. That's like one of my meals. And especially, you know, I actually was doing a fitness competition a couple years ago. And it's funny because I actually had to increase the amount that I was even eating at that time. So I know my sirtuin activity was like going down. So I was healthy eating for my fitness show. But again, was I doing all the right stuff, you know? So if we were to reduce our caloric intake, it boosts our sirtuins by 94%. Here's what happens when you take our Protandim NAD. It increases sirtuins by 100%. So NAD is a molecule, and when that molecule gets turned on, that allows the sirtuins to increase its production. So hopefully you guys were able to follow that. There is actually a really amazing video. So just drop in aging video. Drop that down in the comments because there are 3 theories of aging. And it talks about lowering oxidative stress. It talks about improving mitochondria, and it talks about sirtuins. It's about 10 minutes long, but it really can wrap your head around this, and it's a really powerful video. So what things can happen when you activate that NAD molecule and you turn your sirtuins back on? Mental focus, concentration, energy. I mean, you can really think clearly. I just feel super crisp. And I love how this feels. It feels even better. I'm NRF2 activated, I'm NRF1 activated, and now I'm NAD activated. And I feel like I'm just on a whole nother level of being able to focus. So again, I was never feeling like this with all the healthy eating that I was doing. And just remember, I shared that story about my mom. So my mind has kind of always been wondering like how and why. And so I kind of spent part of my own life almost living in fear and just wondering if something would happen to me because we certainly didn't see that coming. So if you guys worry just about your own health, just drop it in the comments. Let me know because I certainly worried for quite some time. And so what this has done for me, because people say, gosh, you're so young and you don't need this. Well, I'm looking to prevent things from happening. I know what my gene pool looks like, but what I do know is that I don't have to own that, okay? I have the ability to literally turn down the genes inside of my body. So if you guys are, worried about your health at all, or you have a family history, just let me know in the comments. I was worried about stroke. What are you guys worried about? All right, so these are all the slides you can see here again. Increases sirtuins by 100%. So as I was going through in my fitness show and I was taking in all this food, all this healthy food, I was also damaging my gut at the same rate because the foods we eat as they break down, if we're not eating good stuff, it does damage our gut lining. Even if we're eating good stuff, there is still a process that will start to wear away the lining of our gut. So a damaged gut can lead to diseases. Maybe we've got joint pain, maybe we have some thyroid issues, or we've got adrenal fatigue. Most of our hormones are actually made in the gut. We literally have a direct connection from our gut to our brain. And there's like this track of communication. So there's all these pathways happening, okay? And our gut is really important to take care of. And so it really wasn't until I understood this and why a probiotic was so important that I said, oh my gosh, I now know why other probiotics were not working for me. If you have a probiotic that does not have BioTract, you pretty much have expensive urine, truly, okay? So BioTract is a patented coating that keeps all the good bacteria safe, that makes sure it gets into the gut where it's supposed to. So the BioTract allows the good bacteria to be delivered about 60%, which is really good because without BioTract, you're only delivering the good stuff at 4%. So drop in the comments, you guys want 60% or you want 4%? Let me see some 60s, okay? Because other than that, we're really not doing any good to our bodies if we're only getting 4%, okay? Drop 60% in the comments below. Let's talk about omegas. So back to healthy eating. Again, I was doing all the right things. I was eating salmon galore. I was getting a lot of omega-6s. So the thing I was missing out on in my diet that I didn't know about was I was missing out on omega-3s. I had no idea how to even get omega-3s. So what happens now is people are taking omegas and you're probably taking an omega-6, which is just more of what you're already getting from your food. Hence why healthy eating is not enough. So this is omega-3s. It's also combined with vitamin D. And what's unique about this is you can actually track this from boat to bottle. Maybe you guys have heard the term before, farm to table. This is boat to bottle, where you can literally track, the boat and the process that it has come through. And so I really like this because it tastes like lemon and honey. You can actually chew it. And if you guys are taking an omega and it smells bad or fishy, it actually means that it is rancid and it is no good. So throw that thing out. All right, let's talk about Axio. You guys probably have noticed how tired you are or how tired other people are. People are always talking about just fatigue. So not only do we need our pathways in our body to be turned on, but we also need the communication in our brains to be turned on. So I just want to draw your attention to the handwriting sample here on the right-hand side. So this is actually a doctor within our company, one of his patients. You can just see what happens when our brain can communicate. Just look at the changes in the handwriting and just the patterns, okay? So this is literally natural sustained energy. We've got a caffeine version and a decaf version, and all the jitters, there's none of that. There's concentration and there's just really good focus when we start to take away the inflammation that's in our brain. And oftentimes people really confuse like physical fatigue with actual mental fatigue because we're being bombarded with so much. This computer up here has to continuously process. So we got to make sure that we feed it with good food as well. And Axio does exactly that. Drop your favorite flavor. If you are already taking Axio, mine is green grape. So drop your favorite flavor of Axio down below. And if you would like to get yourself some Axio, then let us know. I want me some Axio. Drop that in the comments below so the person who invited you can get you some more information on that. All right, we can't forget about our dogs, okay? People were giving Protandim to their dogs because dogs have oxidative stress too. They are dying of the same diseases that humans are. So this is just a doggy version with all the extra good doggy stuff inside of Pet Tandem. You get to choose your level of biohacking. And I think that's what's really exciting about this. And this does not have NAD in it, but I will tell you the combination of Nerf 1, Nerf 2, and NAD has been an absolute game changer for me on top of the Axio. And I've been on all of our products for many years now, and I feel really good. And so I'm excited about this new addition and this additional pathway inside of our body that we can't unlock with just regular food, okay? So choose your level of biohacking, get back with the person who invited you here, or drop, I'm ready to biohack. Drop that in the comments below so we know who you are, so we can get you some information on how to help you get started. And so I just want to end with this. We are literally living in the rise of the health activated individual. last night I actually spent some time with some amazing people sharing, similar information as I did here tonight. And this one woman said, gosh, my doctor didn't even bring this information to me. And she is just loving all the science. She's loving hearing all the stories. And she's like, I need this inside my body. And just wanted to really paint this picture that you really have to take control of where your health is going. We cannot depend on the guy in the white lab coat to tell us everything that's good about our health. You really have to be your own health advocate. And so I'm really excited to share this information with you guys because it has truly impacted mine. It's eliminated the fear that I have of what my gene pool has. And my mom is loving our product. She had a lot of fatigue after having her stroke, and although it's been many years, you can imagine what it's like to just have that chronic fatigue. So these products have been an absolute blessing. So if you guys are ready to get started, just drop below. I'm ready to biohack, and we're happy to get you some information. Or if you have any questions that I didn't touch upon, let us know in the comments and we will get back to you. So I will see you guys in another event here inside of this group. I will talk to you soon. Bye.